In this lesson, guys, I will show you how to control the timing of the explosion. So the secret for nice and realistic explosion is the timing. So the more you practice, the more you will be better. Okay, so here in the scene you see I have the house. So now let's create the explosion. So I will click on sphere and hit enter on the keyboard. And I will make the sphere bigger. So I will dive inside and I will set a transfer node and I will scale it something like that. Okay, and I will scale it on Y axis, and let's add some variation by creating a mountain node, and this is the mountain node. Let's create the height. Okay, and I need to scale it a little bit in X on Z, sorry, and I think we need to scale it a little bit more. Okay, so now I will select the emitter and I will go to PyroFX tab and I will click on explosion. Okay, so let's create the ground, and from the collisions tab I will click on ground plane, and now let's hit play and see what's happening. Okay, so now guys, I need to move the house on the explosion, so just I will set the value here to 0. Okay, and let's set the time slider to 60 and hit apply. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. Okay, so now guys, I will go to Pyro Sim tab, Sim container, and I will hit L on the keyboard, and here I will select the Pyro solver, and here you see the time scale. This is how fast the explosion will be. Okay, so this is by default 0.65. So I will set it at first frame to 2 and set a key alt, and I will go to frame 7. Okay, and I will set it to 2 again and alt, and at frame 13, I think somewhere here. Actually guys, you need to try and practice on that. Okay, so I will set it to 0.65. okay, and now let's see what we get. So I will hit play. As you see, the explosion is faster at these frames. Okay, so another thing we need to do is coming here in the source volume, guys, and this is the scale source. Okay, so I will hold shift and middle mouse click to open the animation editor, and here you see the scale is coming from the value 1 to value 2. Okay, so I will set this value. This is the frame. Let's see. Okay, this is 5. At frame 5 the size is 2, so I will set it to 4. Okay, so now the scale of the emitter will be 4 at frame 5. So let's see what we get now. Okay, as you see now we get much more bigger explosion. So let's try, let's go to object level and let's create a play blast. Okay, just we need to hide this container, and before I hide that, guys, I will select the pyro smoke and I will click on the handle tool and I will scale it down something. I think that's okay. Okay, so I will go to object level and let's hide the container too. We go to pyro and then multi and bounding box. Okay, so let's see now. Click on play blast. Let's create a play blast and see what we get. Okay, let's play that and see. I think it's a little bit fast. Okay, as you see, the explosion still emitting the fire. Of course, you can set a key for the activation, as I showed you in the previous lesson. So let's see again. Let's add some noise. Okay, so I will close the play blast, and now I will go to the emitter. This is our emitter. I will dive inside, and let me maximize this window. Okay, so this is the flute source, this is the emitter, guys. So I will go to velocity volumes, and here I will set the curl noise. I will check it on to add a noise. Okay, so I will set the scale, for example, to 5. Now the noise will be bigger. So another thing I want to do, I will go to scalar volumes, and let's see the noise. I think let's try and see what we get, then we will come back. Okay, let's move the camera somewhere here, and let's try again. Now it's more noisy. I think we can okay, so I think we can go again to sphere, and then I can go to velocity, and let's change it to 10, and the swirl size, we can control the swirl size a little bit, and I think the timing is a little bit fast, I think. Okay, so I will go to Pyro Solver, and I will hit shift on the keyboard and middle mouse. Okay, so this is the animation editor. Let me hit space and G to frame that. Okay, so this, I think we need to make it the value 1.8 is okay. Okay, and now the explosion will go at speed 1.8, and then 2, and then we'll slow down. Okay, so let's see what we can do. Another thing we can do here, guys, in the Pyro Solver, this is the bouncing lift. Okay, so how much you want the explosion be bounced to the up. So I can set this value to 10, and you can, of course, this is the cooling rate, how much you want the explosion be, how fast you want the explosion be cooled to 0. I can set that to 0.8, and here in the shape you can set the dissipation, so how fast the smoke will disappear. I can decrease that to 0.05. So now the smoke will remain longer in the viewport. I will go to object level, and let's try again and see what we get now. Of course, you can add more temperature to make the explosion hotter, or let's see. Okay, I think it's okay for now. The timing is okay. We can make the explosion coming at frame 7 very fast, and then slow a little bit more. Okay, in this area. Let's do that. I will go to PyroSim again and Pyro Solver, and in the simulation, shift, and let's So this is at frame 15, right? So I will set it at frame 10, and this value I think I will set to 2.5. So now going faster, the explosion will be faster in this area, which is the frame 7. Okay, so another thing we can include, we can add more gas, okay, to the explosion to make it bigger. So we can do that by coming to combustion, and in the combustion here you see gas release. This is animated by default again in Houdini, so I will shift and middle mouse click and let me hit space and G to frame. So actually this is at frame 1, the explosion will emit 100 gas, okay. So as you see, going down until 20. So I can set this value to, for example, 200, 150. Okay, so now the value is 150 at first frame. So if I hit play, you see we have bigger explosion now. Okay, we can add, of course, more noise again. I will come here and I will go to noise tab, and here I can control the sharpness, and let's see here in the velocity volume, I will go to curl noise again, and I will set that to 15 to make it more turbulent, and I can control the gain. Okay, so let's play and see what's happening. As you see, we have a clipping in this area. I showed you how to fix that. If you remember, I will go to resize container and I will set the padding, for example, to 2. And now because the explosion is very fast, guys, that's why the clipping happening. Okay, let's see. I think let's create a play blast and see what's happening. Okay, so I think it's too fast, right? We need to, as you see, guys, I am playing with the values. I cannot show you just few clicks to create an explosion. You need to practice, okay, on that. So let's reduce the timing in the simulation, shift and middle mouse click, and I will set this value to 0.5 is too big, so let's set it to 2. Okay, so let's see, now it's much more better. But another thing, guys, you see the explosion is too big. I think it's for the house is too big, right? So we can scale that. I will come to source. We need to scale down the emitter, okay? Or if you don't want to scale the emitter, you can go to the pyro solver and you can play with the gas, okay, released. So you can do it in multiple ways, guys. You need to find a balance between the values. So I will select this one. Let me shift and middle mouse click here to show the curve. So I will set this one to 3 to make it smaller. So now the explosion will be smaller now. Okay, another thing you can do, you can go to, instead of controlling the source scale source volume, you can go to emitter and reduce the size of the sphere. Okay, so here is, we can reduce this size. Okay, let's see now. See, now it's too, I think we need just a little bit. Okay, okay, let's create the play blast. Another thing, guys, I forgot to do here, I can control the scale of the temperature. So if I set it to 4, for example, now the explosion will be hotter. As you see, it's rising faster to the up. Okay, I think if we made it 2, if we set it to 2, will be okay. Okay, let's see that. Let's try 1.5. As you see, guys, the timing is very important, so you need to spend some time on timing. Try after you finished watching this lecture, try to do it by yourself. Okay, try to change some values and try your type of explosion. Okay, so try to practice between these values in the gas released, for example, and the timing, and try to play with the buoyancy and cooling rate and see what every value do for you. Okay, so let's create a final play blast and see what we get. Okay, I don't like how the explosion slowing in this area. It's slowing too fast, coming very fast and slowing too fast. Okay, I think, as you see, coming very fast and slowing. The reason is we can go to the pyro solver, and in the time scale, let me see, here you see we changed this point to 10, right? I think we need to set it to 13. It's okay, I think, here. And let's increase the value of the timing, so it's from 2 to 0.65. I use it to 0.75, and let's try again. Okay, I think it's good for now. Okay, guys, try to practice and apply what you learned in this lecture. Okay, so see you in the next lesson.